Hey, good morning. Frankie left me. We had a big walk out in the weather. By weather, I mean it is so perfect outside, but it's hot. It's like the perfect hot, but not when you have to be out there for any amount of time. So, hi, how are you? If you feel like checking in, I would love to hear from you. Whenever I hear from you, I get outside of myself a little bit. I love that. I love updates. I'm not great at responding right away because of everything I have going on here and then my energy level, but I do want you to know it's almost like you doing your good deed for the day. Giving to the poor, not asking for the poor pathetic person. I'm kidding. I'm not poor and pathetic, but sometimes I'm a little needy, especially if I'm not feeling well. People say, oh, when I'm sick, I just want to be left alone. No, when I'm sick, I want to be babied. Okay. So I do love hearing how you're doing. Matter of fact, do cell phones have long distance charges anymore? Because if they do, I have a couple people I want to call if we can figure out the time zones. Rainy, if you get bored, would you Google that? Maybe I can ask Grok or ChatGPT. I could probably call my phone service, but I don't know. I could put it on speakerphone for an hour and a half while I wait for a representative, right? Anyway, I'm putting on a little makeup because I've got a day and I have a feeling I'm going to be multitasking. Okay, so I'm going to give you a little update. You know what? I want to give you a little update about what I've been thinking. So there are so many things to think about when you get diagnosed with a serious disease. And one of them, oh, you came back to me. You came back to me. One of the things that happens is, I think, from what I've experienced professionally and personally now a couple times, is, and as I get older, it hits me a little differently, is when you're faced with death, when you're faced with life-threatening illness, especially when we've been raised to believe that you have to be angry at death, fear death, fight death. And so I've been exploring that off and on throughout my life for various reasons. I've taken death and dying courses. I've volunteered for hospice, which I'm very proud of, and grateful for. I try not to just share it all the time. So I don't mean to just like throw it out there like, oh, look at me. It's to prove a point that how interesting the topic is. Cultural anthropology. It's just, it really is gripping how easy math. It's easy math that we're supposed to die. Our body is supposed to cease being a living organism and then becomes depending on how you meet your demise, food for the cycle of life. Excuse me. I don't know. So anyway, some of us with a personality like mine experience racing thinking. Sometimes it's on a gerbil wheel, and sometimes it's like a squirrel jumping from limb to limb to limb, depending on whether it's exploratory thoughts, trying to figure it out, or if it's triggering internal family system stuff. And that also, in my opinion, could mean IAS, internal adult systems. I just made that up, the last one, because the neural pathways, as we learn from childhood or as we learn as an adult, there are certain ways that we process information, and it can be exhausting or it can be informative. So that's what I've been thinking about, is as I've kind of gone through some of the, oh my God, what am I going to do now? You know, one of the things that I've realized is that there are some people who particularly fight bad news. And I have been there at a certain time in my life where it's not so much the fear of death, which, yes, that's true. I mean, none of us likes the great unknown. That's why some of us have a very strong belief in what death means. But it's also anger that we have yet to live. And I don't remember which philosopher said that, but that wasn't my own thought. That was something I read in a vulnerable state, and it stuck with me. Sometimes we fear death the most because we have yet not lived. So I was thinking about my bucket list. And some people are mad because they feel ripped off. Like people who have kids, they want to see how their child grows, or if they're in a special project that meant a lot to them. And the deal is that one of my strong belief systems is that once we're on the other side, we'll realize, and I don't remember, I might have been an acid trip, I don't know, but I had a few of those when I was young. Sorry, please don't be mad. But it was I had several awakenings when I was doing that. I'm glad I quit when I did, but you know, teenagers. So anyway, I realized that I'm kind of thinking this as I'm going along. I'm kind of processing. I just kind of wanted to check in. I believe that once our spirit leaves our body is finished living, then we get to the other side and we look around and our thought is, none of that mattered except love. Where did I show love? Where did I plant love? Where did I share love? Give love, share love, provide love. Yeah. And that it wouldn't even matter if I received love. That was for me. And I still believe that's true. There are times when I felt like I gave so much love and I didn't get anything back. And I guess I just realized that that's not the point. The point isn't, did I receive love? The point is, did I give love? And there's an amazing gift that comes with that. Now, that also means, did I treat my body and my spirit well with love? So if I wasn't receiving love, then that meant I wasn't actually giving love. I was giving emotional food to someone. And people don't need emotional food from people they're using. They need physical food, but they need the kind of love that they need from someone who meets their vibration, if that makes any sense. Because the love I give to someone who doesn't appreciate it is simply an appetizer. It's simply, it's kind of like peeing out when you take too many vitamins. It's like, well, thanks for all the vitamins, but I don't need any of that. But it's entertaining for them. It's entertaining. It's like a place card holder. And I don't think you show yourself love when you're a place card holder. Now, if you're getting some out of the relationship as well, that's a whole different story. And a lot of people don't want to admit that. A lot of people don't want to admit that they're using someone who's using them as a placeholder too. That's kind of important. That is kind of important. Honesty with thyself. Right? So I've been looking at that. I've been looking at my bucket list. Like, is there anything that I haven't done that I want to do? Well, one thing is I want to quit saying no to myself on little things. I have shared this before, that I grew up so poor that it even carried over into being ashamed if I splurged my money that I earned. And I think because I've made some financial mistakes, I just recently had to hit why am I yelling? I don't know. I'm going to thank Aaron from the Hey You site. Sometimes when I'm just lonely and bored and trying to fall asleep, she has long videos, and sometimes I can just listen to her chatter because she's not showing anything I have to wake up and look at. She's a shopper, a prolific shopper, but she doesn't. I have very seldom seen anything. She showed something that she got at Marshall's one time, and by the time I looked for it, it was sold out. So, and I mean, that's after me watching her now for probably a year. I found her. I was looking for long videos of just idle chit-chat to fall asleep by. Sometimes I just like, one of the reasons why even in my 20s, I liked going to my dad's house because I could take a nap there in one of the kids' bedroom or on the sofa and just curl up and just listen to that background chatter. I used to just love that. It felt like a real, comfy quilt kind of thing. I really love, that's one of the things I miss. Matter of fact, that's what I miss about having a best friend locally, is that I don't have the ability to, sometimes if I'm feeling sucked dry, to just go to their house and take a nap. It's one of the most comforting things I can think of in real life. It's one of the most beautiful gifts. So that's not on my bucket list anymore because I've had that. I've had friends who have stuck with me through sickness and in health, in richer and poorer. I have been blessed with that. now with age and travel and time, life and death, those relationships have changed. And do I miss it? Yeah. Kind of like a kid misses their invisible friend, you know? It's someone that was always there and comforting, and then somehow they're just gone one day. And I get that. I look at it as a beautiful gift, not as a resentment anymore. People change, and more is revealed, but I know the comfort of having someone by my side when I need them. Oh my God. Oh, my dear friend Claudia up in Minnesota, my doctor thought I might have mouth cancer. I've had some hell diagnoses, I'm telling you. And she went through that with me. The oncologist that saw me finally, after all the money I spent on all these appointments, and specialists and then oncologists, I don't know, it was crazy. Antibiotic after antibiotic, and because I had this white coating on my tongue. So then he was like, we need to send you to the oncologist. He walked in and he took a look at me, and he took a scraping, and he left the room for a few minutes, came back. I think that's how it went. Or I had an appointment with him. Excuse me. And then on my return, Claudia was with me for the results, I think. And he said, well, I have good news and bad news. And he goes, what do you want first? I was like, oh, just tell me. I don't know. And he was like, you're going to have to change your toothpaste. I was like, what's that mean? And then he said, because it's giving you an allergy on your tongue. It's not mouth cancer. It's not cancer. You don't have cancer. Oh man, I was so relieved. I was really relieved. I was anxious. But I was so busy, I didn't have time to think about death or anything else. I was so comforted by the people around me at the time. I was in a very healthy environment. And I was living alone, so I didn't have this crazy stress that happens when you live with somebody. I'm going to tell you what. Christine sent me this makeup, and I was afraid I was going to run out. And so I decided to look it up a while back and decided, I'm not low enough to spend that money yet. Well, now that I'm getting lower, I was thinking, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and order back up. This is good, but going back to not having like I'm poor mentality, and this is all going to come together, I think, is it's just too expensive for me to feel good about buying it. Not that I can't afford it, not that because it's not on my bucket list anymore. Having expensive makeup isn't on my bucket list anymore. Having friends who are generous when they can be is so beautiful. Because there are things that I just won't spend my money on, especially when I'm buying all these supplements and medications, and then I have household stuff, and now I'm having the house investigated for mold, because there's some health issues I'm having, and my body is just not reacting well. And so I got online and got lucky and found some articles about sometimes there's an underlying issue. And one of them is that when your liver is fighting mold poisoning, I guess. Some people don't handle it very well. Some people handle it better than others. I handle it evidently okay. Who knows? Some of the signs might be part of that. I don't know. But it's hard for the medication to work and not participate in more liver injury. So that's been very interesting. So as far as the whole bucket list goes, yeah, it's like the squirrel jumping in trees. It's like, what do I really want to spend my money on? And then I thought, if I'd rather spend that $50 on a new supplement that's going to help my liver recover, right? Supplements are expensive. I see why most people don't take a lot. But when you're going through a health situation, you have to concentrate on what is it that's going to help you keep your physical body on track. Because I want to have my mind in a place where I can peacefully flow away. That's how I imagine me dying. When I was younger, I imagined going quickly in a motorcycle accident or spontaneous combustion. I just didn't give it a lot of thought. I knew that I was living a risky life with the people that I hung out with who were adventurers, but I didn't take it all that seriously. Shoot, I could probably get out of here. So my liver enzymes went right back up as soon as I started the fenbenzyl ivermectin. I was gonna just do the Fenben first because it has so many remarkable results, but I quit because then I get that liver result and the liver enzymes were really high again. Not as high as the first time, but I had been on it longer. This time it was just, a week and a half, 2 weeks. And it went up as high as it did. So I stopped taking the Fenben and Ivor for a few days. And then started taking the Ivor again. And that's because I came across an article that said if you have mold, Fenben at the same time, for some reason they're reacting with a mycotoxin that's in mold, in black mold. So I got a mold kit, and they're processing. They take a couple days, 2 to 4 days, to really show the mold results, if there is mold, and then they give you some pictures and descriptions of what's going on. There's only one mold that could be in my house that would affect the mycotoxin, or however they call it, myotoxin, I don't know. Anyway, you can Google it if you want to. But I was thinking, that's where I'm spending my money. I'm spending my money wisely. I'm not going to go to this beautiful conference I wanted to go to so bad right now. I think I will try to follow that program and see where they are next year, which I hope it's in the same place, and I'll feel more up to it. The big thing that held me back this time was that I'd have to catch so many airplanes getting there and back. There's not a direct flight from Nashville to I think the airport would be Phoenix, as far as I know. Not that and it's an affordable flight, it's just not direct. And right now, with my scattered brain, the way I'm having all these thoughts, I don't need to add that pressure. The class would be great. The conference would be great because it's right up my alley. But the details of getting there and back, my brain just isn't doing well with those kind of details right now. What else was I going to tell you? So I was thinking that, oh, I just had another liver enzyme. Oh, and when I get more time, I'm gonna tell you the Gallery cancer identification test. Look up Gallerie, Gallery cancer test. Look that up if you're curious, because I just did that, and they said where I went and got the blood drawn, it could be about 5 days to 7. So I'm excited about that. I'll share some more whenever I can. Bye for now.